Hey, how's everybody doing? So, I don't know who I listened to today. I listened to some BB King, uh, some Matt Schofield, Jack Rook, and Tom Bokovic, and a little bit of Robin Ford today. But anyway, I wanted to tell and show you guys the importance, at least I feel it's important, and other guys that I have listened to, is when you learn a lick of any kind, a blues lick or whatever you learn, try to learn it in different octaves. So I'm going to play a couple BB King licks. I'm actually going to play my favorite BB King lick, which you've heard me do before, but I'm going to do it in the key of G, and then I'm going to do another BB King lick right after it. But I'm going to show you you should try to learn these licks in all the octaves that you can play it in, and all over the different places you can play it on your guitar. So if I miss one or two, I might. You never know. So here's the lick we're going to do. So you've heard BB King, I'm sure, play those two blues licks. So you could play it down here. Could play it that. You're playing the same notes. I'm just playing it in a different place. And here it is an octave lower. I didn't hit the wrong note. I went off the fret down there. Actually, I bent it. Don't need to be bent, Skip. Don't bend that note. It's hard to play that one up there. But oh, and I was leaving off that note there, so I wasn't playing the note exactly right, or the phrases right. So down here. So that was probably the problem. I was leaving out that one note, that G note. So anyway, let me show you how to play those phrases in different octaves. And one thing I want to say about this also is you can play the same octave as far as the octave range of the notes like this. And because you're going to be playing it up here on thicker strings, this D is a wound string and this G is thicker, it's going to have a fatter sound up there because the thinner strings tend to be thinner sounding. So I hope you can hear that. It's kind of sometimes it's hard to hear what the amp is really putting out, but I can't. I'm not going to go buy a mixer and try to, do all that production stuff. I'm just not that person. Maybe eventually, but probably not. I'm pretty much an analog guy. I just don't care about all the gadgets and stuff. I think they're cool though. I'm not going to knock people for it. I had somebody say, hey, they liked the fact that I didn't have all the rack stuff and all the Marshall amps sitting around. I think it's cool. If that's your thing, just do it. But for me, I used to be a guy. God, I used to play through, you know, loud amplification. Trust me. At one point, I owned a 500 watt Strategy, which is a 500 watt tube amp made by Mesa Bookie. I still own it, and God, it was loud. But I don't need to play loud anymore. I got, I can play through a little 112-inch speaker and mic it up, and it'll sound just fine. So, this, again, what I was saying was, it gets real thin sounding up here. Oops. So let me show you how to play this in 4 different places. Same 2 licks, just in 4 different places on your guitar. And you could play it. You can play it there too. So let me, and the importance of this is when you learn a lick, just even the, I mean, that's a pretty simple blues lick. I mean, it's a staple if you're going to play B.B. King stuff. But the importance of learning it in different octaves is just going to give you more fretboard knowledge as well. Plus, it's going to sound different. You play a lick, play down here on the sticker strings, anyway. So let me show you where you can play this. We'll start with the lower octave down here, and you can't go any lower than this octave range with these 2 licks, unless you're tuned down. I guess you could if you tuned your low E down to D. I don't do that either. Too much. Every once in a while, if I'm working out a song for a student, it's got drop D, I will do that. So, but anyway, so here we go. So we're here on the 5th fret of the A string to the 7th fret with our 3rd finger, to the 5th fret of the D string. Then you take your 3rd finger and bend the note down. I like bending down on my lower strings because I think the strings are thicker, they're harder to bend, pull, whatever you call it. So if you bend down, you have more muscle to pull down with. That's why when Albert played left-handed upside down, he had his high E string like up here. He could bend the heck out of that thing. I mean, it was amazing how far he could do bends, and you listen to it and it's almost impossible to do. Stevie Ray Vaughan did a great job of emulating Albert King, I thought, at times. I mean, and when you're playing live and you are in the moment, you can do, I watched Stevie Ray a lot, and God, he was almost like, he almost wasn't human at times. I thought, God, that guy is, he was definitely probably one of my top 3 blues players, only because of his emotion that he played with. I mean, he just, when he put on a concert after he was done, he left 110% on the stage. He gave you everything he had. That's just how he played. But when you play and you get all caught up in that emotion, your emotions take over and you just do stuff that, you normally probably couldn't do. I don't know. So anyway, let me show you how to play this. So we bend this note down here on the 7th fret of the D string, back down to the 5th fret of the D string. Then we start with that note there on the 5th fret. And bend that note down here on the 8th fret now. Then you go to the 5th fret of the G string. And I play it that note on the 7th fret with my 2nd finger. This is 1st finger. Oops. Then you come back down here to the 8th fret, 3rd finger. Bend that down. Then you end here on the 5th fret of the D string. Let's see if I got a track I can play it with. I was playing some slow blues stuff here earlier. Here we go. Okay, so that works. That track's gonna work. All right. Hope you was able to hear that. So let me play it one more time in this lower octave. Okay, so now let's go up to the next octave range here. So we're going to start this one on the G string with our 1st finger. And I'm going to go to use my 2nd finger. That's on the 7th fret of the G string. 1st finger, 9th fret, 2nd finger, to the 8th fret of the B string. Then you're going to do that on the 10th fret, do that quarter step bend. And then back down to the 8th fret with your 1st finger. Then you start here on the 8th fret, 1st finger, the next part of the lick. Then you go here, 3rd finger on the 11th fret of the B string to the 8th fret of the high E string, 1st finger. 10th fret on the high E string with your 2nd finger. Then you put that little half step bend on the 11th fret. And then end the lick here on the 8th fret of the B string. So let me play this one more time. Okay, I might have the track a little loud. Let me play it one more time with the track down a little bit here. You know, I guess if I did have a little mixer, I could probably get my levels a little better. Maybe I'll eventually do that. I don't know. Okay, here we go. So that was on the B or G, B, and E string. So I'm going to play that same octave range, except I'm going to play it down here on the D string. Again, the importance of doing this is to help you know your fretboard. And again, it's going to have different textures with different strings. It's going to sound thicker down here, and definitely thicker down here in this lower octave range. So it's, let me so down here we're starting on the 12th fret with our 1st finger on the D string to the 14th fret of the D string with your 3rd finger to the 12th fret of the G string, then do that little half step bend. That's with the 3rd finger. Then back down to the 12th fret of the G string with your 1st finger. So then you start here on that same G note on the 12th fret first finger. Then go to the 15th fret. Trying to figure the finger in here. I would probably use I think I used my third. So do that little bend there on the 15th fret to the 13th fret of the B string first finger. 15th fret on the B string with your third finger. Then you come down here on the 15th fret of the G string with your second finger. Do the little bend. So let me play that with the track. Okay, one more octave range here. And again, you could play it an octave higher. I'm sure you know about that, right? I mean, if I play... So you're playing just an octave higher on the same strings, you know. I mean, I'm not going to go through every possible place to play this. You can figure out some of these, I'm sure, on your own. But I did want to do the the 4 different places to play the lick. So the last place you can play this lick, well, so you're going to do this. You're going to start here on the 15th fret of the B string, first finger. 17th fret with your second finger on the B string. 15th fret of the high E string, first finger. Do that little blues twist bend there. On the 17th fret of the high E with your second finger. And then come back down to the 15th fret with your first finger. Then starts here, the last part of the riff starts here on this G note up here on the 15th fret, first finger. And then I use my first finger here, do a little half step bend on the 18th fret, 20th fret, 22nd fret, back down to the 18th fret, and you end here on the 20th fret of the B string with your second fingers. So let me play that last lick up there with the track. So you can hear how that same lick, those were all the same notes, just in a different octave, and played on different strings. So you can hear how the texture changed, like I said, when you played it on the thicker strings. Had more, it was a richer, fatter sound. And then it got thinner as we played it on the thinner strings. So when you learn a lick, or even solos, I've taken and transcribed some solos into different octaves. And it's a bear to do that. But the reason you want to do it is, again, it helps you learn the fretboard. You know, the guys that you hear play, and they're just all these. There's some magnificent players, man, everywhere. Um, and those guys just know that fretboard. They know where every note is, and they know, you know, they just. It's amazing to watch some of these guys play. Uh, I can't remember the one guy's name. God, I forget his name. He's not from the USA. He's from somewhere in Europe. His name starts with an M. But God, he plays with his fingers. Oh my God, the cat is so good. The cat is amazing to watch play too. So he's not a blues player, but I've heard him play some blues, and it was different. You know, not real traditional sounding, but hey, I still dug it. It was like, man, that's cool. But I still like to listen to the more traditional players. Even Buddy Guy, I love him. B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King, all the greats. T-Bone Walker. T-Bone Walker is so good. But if you listen to that stuff, it's, again, I talked about this before, it's going to become part of your DNA. The more blues you listen to, the more it's going to get up here, and then you're going to put it down here, so if you want to become a really good blues player, listen to whoever you like, their style. For a long time I listened to a lot of B.B. King, and so listen to blues if you want to be a blues player. If you want to be a jazz player, listen to jazz guys. You know, I listen to a little bit of everything, but my main focus is I listen to more blues because that's what I love to do. To me, blues is so emotional. That's why I fell in love with playing it. You can really express yourself with the guitar, especially. No knock on keyboard players. I know they have electronic keyboards and they can bend notes, and do all that stuff. But I don't know. There's something about a guitar. It just seems to be one of the more emotional instruments that we have that we can play. It's a guitar. So anyway, work on playing any lick that you learn in different octaves. Even if it's just a two-note phrase, even if it's just, two notes, learn those two notes everywhere on your neck. Learn how to play all the things that you learn in different octaves. At least that's what I try to do, and I still try to do that. So, and I think again, it's going to help you. It's going to help you memorize your fretboard a little better, and it's going to give you different tonal sounds from your instrument. Again, thicker strings have that fatter sound. But anyway, that's the lesson for today. And hey, I shined up my guitar today, even though I've already put some marks on it. You can't keep these. If you play these things, you can't keep the crap off of them. And I just love the wood in this guitar. I already have some dings in it. It's gonna happen. I do have some guitars I put away. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to I do collect guitars, and God's blessed me richly. My wife has supported me immensely, but we owned a music store for 10 years. Back from 1990 to 2000, we had a music store in Lakeland, Florida called Six String Music. And my motto was, no such thing as too much stuff. And you'll never talk to my wife probably. She won't come in here and get on a video. I say, come on in here and say hi. She don't want any part of it. But if you talk to her, she'd say, yeah, you live by that motto too. No such thing as too much stuff. I'd buy stuff. And again, I was blessed, I would buy, I have a bunch of vintage stuff, and I don't play it because I'm trying to preserve that kind of stuff. I don't want to take a risk on it getting messed up. And when you play in these places, some of these places when you play a club or something, and you go on break, and you look up there, and there's this guy up there playing your guitar. You're like, who told this guy he could play my guitar? Oh my God, I've had it happen to me a couple times, and I mean, I do take a nice guitar to play. I usually take a couple of my Melancons and a Telecaster and a Strat, and but you're gonna find these people, and they'll, I've almost gotten in a fight with one guy who was like, "Hey man, who are you?" I said, "Well, I own the guitar." He's like, "I don't care. I just want to play it." I said, "Look, I own this guitar. You didn't ask to play it. So put the guitar down and it'll be okay." "Well, I'm not going to put it down." I said, "Okay, if you're not going to put it down, I'm going to call I'm going to call the owner over here and have him call the police." He goes, "Oh, okay, I'll put it down." But you get these people, and for whatever reason, they think because they're in a business, they own whatever's in there. I don't know. He probably had too many drinks, but that's why I don't take any good stuff to a gig, unless it's someplace where if I'm doing an outdoor show and we have bodyguards and stuff, I'll take something nicer then. But even still, you get idiots that jump up on stage and do crazy stuff. Well, listen, I hope this lesson was good, and I hope you learned from it. And again, learn something, play it in all the octaves that you can find on your guitar, and every place you can find it on the guitar. All right? Well, listen, have a great night, and I'll see